Hello, Hudson High School Science Scholars. This is Mr. Comer here, and I'm making this video to take you through some of the measurements that we're going to be taking in our forensic laboratory investigation of tire tread and tire tracks. So here is the crime that you guys are going to be solving. It's actually happened to me when I was a little kid. I was getting ready to go play baseball one morning. We got to the field and someone had destroyed it. Someone had driven their car over it, and we were all really bummed. So I've recreated that experience in this lab, and we are going to try to find out who destroyed this baseball field. The police obviously went down to the field, they investigated, they took some evidence, and we've narrowed it down to 5 suspects, all ironically from the Desert 5-pack series of Matchbox cars. So we have a green car who's a suspect, this little yellow ATV, this orange vehicle, this silver vehicle, and this red vehicle. And I'm going to show you how we're going to find out which one of these destroyed the local baseball field. So the objective of this lab is we're going to use a caliper to take each of the measurements described here, and we're going to do so in millimeters, and then we're going to compare those measurements that we take to this evidence that you see in this slide, and we're going to determine which of these cars fits best. All right. So we're going to be using a caliper to take these measurements. If you haven't had an opportunity to use a caliper before, it's a very sensitive device, and it's going to measure to the nearest hundredth of a millimeter. And it's pretty straightforward, but you want to make sure that you turn it on. Obviously, it's a digital device, and that it's always set to 0. If you're starting to get negative numbers, it means that you need to recalibrate it. So shut it and set it to 0. And the first measurement we're going to do is we're going to measure tire track width, which is simply done by using the caliper to squeeze the tire as tightly as you can, and recording that in your data sheet. The second measurement that we're going to take is a little bit more challenging, especially with these tiny Matchbox cars. We're going to measure one of the singular tire treads. Now, in a real tire, of course, there's a lot more detail in tire treads. In these Matchbox cars, we're just going to take a singular measurement of the main tire tread. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a tire track imprint. So you're going to be using ink and roll your car across the ink pad, and then make 1 or 2 passes with the car in your laboratory sheet. So you'll have a nice image that you can compare to the evidence in addition to the measurements that you're taking. Well, now that your car is all inky, and you can see in the video I'm going to have ink on my hands going forward, we're going to also measure the stance of the car, or the tire track width. So what that means is that's going to be measuring the left side of the car from the right side of the car, or from the driver's side to the passenger, of either the front or the back wheels in this case. The final measurement that we're going to take is measuring the wheelbase. So that's from the front tire to the rear tire. And this is done by measuring from the front axle to the rear axle. And if you spin the caliper around, you can see it has those additional arms on the other side. You can go ahead and actually put those probes directly into the wheelbase, and it'll give you a very accurate measurement. All right. So when you're done with that, let me just kind of give you an idea of what we're going to do. You're going to look in your drive for tire, track, and tread calculator, and you can go ahead and enter your data right into the spreadsheet, and this calculator will actually calculate the variance and the percent difference, and it'll give you a good idea of which of these cars best matches the evidence listed below. So that's it. If you have any questions, watch the video again, rewatch it, raise your hand, send me an email, and good luck solving the crime.